Yes. Oh yeah, it
Sure,
is.
why not?
It's. Oh god, chat's not up. One of these days. Island boy.
Chat is never up. Please don't.
I have to. Maybe we'll get famous. I don't know. Yeah.
Please, no.
Yeah, buddy. We should rebrand ourselves as Island Boy Productions.
Let's
do it.
We don't look even half the part.
Oh, come on. You don't have to look the part. You can just fake it. What's the sense in looking apart for something? Come on. Where's your sense of adventure?
Out on the island, boy.
There you go. It's on the island. Oh, it's November 1st. We are back. We are the world. All right, let's say, I'm going to say 15 seconds because I can. 10 seconds because I called 15 way after I thought about saying 15. 5, 4, 3. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Yep.
Mike and Corey back with you. Not your average show, November 1st, 2021. If you didn't hear us in the intro run up. We were making fun of some TikTok stars. Sorry, guys, just had to. We got a lot for you today, but before that, you got a great Halloween. Hope everybody goes. How are you doing, man? What's going on, Corey?
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah, I hope you guys' Halloween was nice and enjoyable, safe and fun. We know not all the stories are good in Halloween. I know there's some stuff went down in the middle of Orlando there. I know I didn't tell you about this before, but somebody, I guess some people got shot because it's still the real world apparently, even on holidays. So, but anyway, that's that. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good time. Ours was good, nice, relaxing, and fun.
No, I didn't. I did not even know that. We had a great time. I was looking up.
I know, kind of sideswiped you there. Sorry.
Hey, you could sideswipe to fly a Robinson now. We'll talk about that later, though. Hey, here's the thing. Swipe left or right. We had a great Halloween. We had many visitors. We had over 700 trick-or-treaters here at the house. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Our block, at one point, I counted 24 golf carts on our block. 24.
I mean, that's good for you.
Pretty cool. So that was nice.
That's crazy.
And my son went for his first real. He went up, knocked on the door, put his little basket up and said his little trick or treat, and it was beautiful, and I enjoyed it. So that was nice to be home with him for that one. And then, so this year I improved on basically last year we had the candy slide, which was like a 2.5-inch piece of PVC that we slid candy down, and kids put their little, their bags out, but it didn't go. It maybe traveled 6 inches from the tip, right? So this year did a little differently. I'd put the candy slide at a different angle. I would place a piece of candy in there, and this time I took my detailing air gun and
nice.
It shot the candy about 6 feet clean out of that thing. Kids.
Nice.
So the younger kids, obviously, it was more of a bleed. What's going on, David? It was more like a.
Hey, right? David.
And then, but for the more mature kids that were a little bit more lippy, when I said you don't get anything to say trick or treat, what is this thing all about? Wow! Oh, then the laughter ensued, and they were like, "You have to catch it. It's a game. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen." So we did that, and that was pretty cool. Yeah. So that was Halloween. It was good. It was fun times.
Cool.
What are we going to talk to people about today? We're going to talk to something about David. David, you brought this up. It's the ABB group, and they're teaming up with Lilium to build their infrastructure. We got a little bit to talk about there because this is just a recent announcement of how they're going to move forward. Also, Elon Musk takes on the challenge of curing world hunger. So Corey's going to talk to you about that one.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's real interesting. There's a lot in the nuances on that one that you really have to pay attention to what is said in the last statement of the article, which I thought was really keen. And then finally, Robinson Helicopters is going to team up with a group called Skyryse to produce FlightOS. That's what it is, FlightOS, to basically Flypad a helicopter. And Jon Hamm, of all people, jumps on board and takes this thing for a ride. Really unique. it only speaks to what we've been saying to a long time now, that there are players inside the industry that want to see automation of flight, and this is a lot quicker step than people I think saw coming, and we're gonna break that one down as we discuss. So there's that. Without further ado, you want to go with oh no, I'm gonna go off first, right? I'm going first.
I think you're up. Yeah, you're up.
Okay, let me get this time. I did take notes. Okay, so this one, just so you guys know, we do have some avid viewers out there, and they do suggest things that we take a look at all the time. So hold on, we got one more. Remember the company entry? They're going to be big players in urban air mobility. Oh yeah. Okay, we'll write them down. If you keep giving us these nuggets.
Yep. I know we talked about them a while ago, but we're gonna come back.
We'll have to circle back on that one. Okay, let me start that intro all over again. Here on the show, we have some great contributors. We have guys that always show up in chat and suggest things. And one of them suggested that we look at ABB Group and their involvement with now building the infrastructure for Lilium on what's going to be their EV toll entry into the marketplace. And pretty much that's exactly what's coming from the ABB Group in this discussion that they have released on their website. And it says ABB and Lilium are going to team up for revolutionizing charging infrastructure for regional air travel. And it's real interesting that they should say regional air travel and not just say for urban air mobility, which is great. And so they go into some pretty shallow details, okay? And the shallow details come in essence of giving you a laydown of what this company is going to do from their Switzerland headquarters. And basically they're saying right now that they're looking for a commercial launch of these initiatives by 2024. On top of that, they're going to be in Florida, Germany, and Brazil. Interestingly enough, Florida is the only one mentioned by state, not by country. So they're very specific on that, not any other zones in Germany and Brazil. They're going for the megawatt fast charging supply and testing infrastructure that they're going to put in place, fully charging a unit in 30 minutes, 80% charge in 15 minutes. That would give them the ability to fly a Lilium aircraft at 20 to 25 flights per day per aircraft, at a range of 155 miles and at 175 miles per hour. Okay, so that's the basic ground laying of that. What do you think just off the start of that? If we've covered so much of the EV world, so much of charging become the possibility for other players in the marketplace. Just hearing that basic information, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so if you guys, just a quick update too, kind of just gives some perspective. ABB Group, they do tons of other things. So I have their link listed down below as well. You can check them out at their main page. I mean, they have stuff on there, everything from robotics to power supply, metallurgy, low voltage products. They do a bunch of stuff. And so it's good to see that Lilium's making some really great inroads, everywhere for the charging infrastructure. We talked a lot about the hurdles to urban air mobility, air taxis, and we know that Lilium themselves is taking a little bit more of a chunk, a little shot at the regional kind of part of that sector, which we've also mentioned. They're not quite going for the shorter hops; they're going a little bit for the longer hops. And at least speaking a little bit towards what you mentioned about Florida, we know that they're already trying to put a vertiport in the Central Florida area, south of the big airport there, MCO. We know they're trying to put a few more around that state as well, down I think in Tampa area, or rather over in Tampa area, and then down south as well. And at least I know another one over there. Point being, those are kind of like regional stuff, and this kind of lends its hat straight to exactly what they want to do. They want to get volume out the door and have a bit more of a be able to forecast exactly, again, when flights will leave, be able to be on time, not waiting on stuff to charge because of whatever. And ABB is certainly able to help them with that. And here, I don't know if you mentioned it, but they're coining the term for ABB, the megawatt charging.
Yeah, megawatt. I did. Yep.
Megawatt charging. And so they up there, they're looking to get upwards of the range of 1,000 kilowatts of charge, DC power, eventually when they get everything up and going. And they also mentioned too, I don't know, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but other heavy duty vehicles. So not just actually ABB, not just air taxi stuff, but also maybe heavy duty EV vehicles, maybe trucks and whatnot. So that's I'll be kind of looking for other things from ABB, maybe in other sectors, EV stuff, but other places. Right. So
interesting. You should say that, by the way. When you go to Lilium's website, though, they do list as they're partnering globally with and they do have ABB Group in there, and then they have, of all things, the city of Orlando, just the city of Orlando. So, which centralizes a lot of what their focus is going to be, laying a little bit more credence to them building that network right around the area that we currently live. So, interestingly enough, go ahead.
That's
yeah,
pretty
it
cool.
is.
It's pretty cool. And as we mentioned, other things too, that they're having other issues getting some of these vertiports set up, and a little bit more like not so much like regs, but that'll of course be another thing too. But just like local ordinances, city ordinances, those kind of things, and that's independent of ABB, of course. So ABB is just infrastructure stuff, which is great. It's really good to see that they're looking to bring some of that, maybe what customers could be more accustomed to. Like you go buy a plane ticket, it leaves at let's say 12:05. Well, it's going to leave at 12:05 because it's got a time frame. You want to be as with any other airline, want to be having some kind of level of customer service for reliability.
Right.
So they really getting ahead of the charging point is perfect for that.
So David says, to be exact, like Nona, we understand, and I've actually pinpointed through talking to other people inside the industry where that's going to be, believe it or not, but I'm not at liberty to release that exact location. However, here's the other part of it is, with a company,
I may or may not have driven.
Yeah, well, you've already speculated. You can speculate all you want, but it's pretty easy to see where it's going to go. But here's the other part of it is, ABB Group, right? They have the horsepower, so to speak, behind their development technologies to bring to reality at least the serviceability of getting that infrastructure in place, because they are accurately targeting the three things that are necessary, which is, like Corey said, scheduled service, the ability to repeat, and lastly, making the functional recharging ability operational to the point where it's flawless. And if they get those things worked out, that per seat, per cost, per operating customer value will drop for Lilium. Okay, so when they partner with somebody like this, they obviously have their eyes on the prize, looking forward towards the future of what they consider profitability. A big step, because ABB's got the guts to do this right now. I don't know of the other competitors right now that have that positioning. The other ones that are relying on more traditional power systems or hydrogen don't necessarily need to face up against these particular challenges or hurdles. But the fact that they're forward thinking to 2024, which is about the time that we could expect, hopefully, some sort of certification by the FAA and getting all their other parts together, it sounds plausible, like they could do it to me. And especially with a company like ABB behind them.
Yep. And actually, David, to your comment, they are into robotics.
They're into a lot. Okay.
They're into a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. So if you go to the website and look at their products,
all over.
I mean, they're in tons of different sectors. So,
industries and utilities. They've got robotics. They've got plugs and sockets. They've got compatibility breakers. They got voltage regulators. They're literally solar inverters, software. They've got it.
They're in tons.
They're in some stuff. They can even make them.
They're quite an extensive.
So I look, first of all, thanks, David, for the tip, because the fact that they're going to be putting this all together is amazing, number one. Number two, I think this puts Lilium a little bit further ahead of the competition right now, because a company like this that brings their specific specialized technologies to this particular problem probably have good solutions. Okay. So that has actually ticked Lilium up a little bit further on my list of all the other, obviously Jetopterra is still on the top. No questions asked when they finally hit the marketplace. But Lilium now just became a very strong second in that argument, and for me at least.
No, I'd agree. Yeah, as we mentioned, some of these big problems that companies, air taxi companies, or regional companies, or short hop, long haul, whatever it might be for these EV air taxis are going to be things they need to work through. And of course, having somebody like sign on the dotted line that's going to help you with this, that we know, or they know, and we know now, that can certainly come through. Yeah. So Lilium, again, more watching Lilium. They're still major players. So. No news there.
I was going to say no news. No new news is good news with Gary Gnu. I thought that's what you're struggling with, but and I got it. There you go. All right, folks. Thank you to David for suggesting that. It was a great follow-up. Yeah. Really good to see the information that actually came from just a simple press release. The details that they listed, again, to me, emphasize the fact that they've got their eyes on the prize. So look forward for more from this group and Lilium. And let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow. and we'd be interested to entertain any more discussion on the matter and anything you guys can bring to us that we could get out to you. We appreciate it so much. Thank you on that one. So closing that one out, I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Wow. Wow. What a segue.
I am hungry.
What a segue.
There's the segue. So after that, I'm gonna concede the floor to Corey. That's got to talk to you about something that Elon Musk has proposed.
Sure. So yeah, so the next one comes to us. It's about good old Elon Musk. This time we're not particularly talking about technology or his cars or SpaceX or anything in there. We're talking about just a headline that was something that Mike and I chatted about a bit earlier and thought, hey, we'll bring it up and see what's going on without getting too deep in the world politic kind of thing. But nevertheless, it says Elon offers to literally shell out $6 billion of his own dollars to help with world hunger if it's going to actually do something. so there you go. There's a bit of the intro there. And basically it says that the UN World Food Program Director David Beasley basically challenged the ultra wealthy just recently to say, and quote, step up now on a one-time basis, basically end quotes, to help with world hunger. And even went on to say, literally quoting, 6 billion could help 42 million people from literally going, people that are literally going to die if we don't reach them. And so that's just, and to just put that in perspective, just so everybody's on the same page, that's literally only 2% of Musk's estimated net wealth. So there you go. I mean, we're not on here to, just as toot Elon's horn, how amazing and how much Elon, how much he's worth. But then we go on to really say that Elon's actually responded, and that's kind of why we're actually even talking about this. And basically, he went on to say that basically, if it's open source accounting and the public can literally see where all the money goes, he's on board. Literally, he's like, yeah, I'll sell my shares. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. To go right along with that, to say that he's got some money that could go around. And it's been pointed out in our previous show, and some other people I've just talked to about previous shows, it's one thing to just keep in mind, these people's wealth is not all liquid, right? They have things invested. It's not like they have that much money just hanging out, but they can get access to it. And I'll pass it over to you just a second. I'll give it to you, but it says also wanted to point out that the net worth of U.S. billionaires, also in this article, they says they've basically doubled since the pandemic started. So there's a lot of money still being made. So, but yeah, what do you think, Mike? I mean,
first of all, I'm not laughing at anything that Corey just said. I'm laughing at the fact that everybody in chat right now is named David, which is kind of funny. Secondly, there was a great comment by David Rainbow, which we're going to talk about, which might be on another topic. Anyhow, let me get through that. Last one is, first of all you other billionaires that didn't step up to this request, and Elon Musk dropping this the way he did was emphatically a shove it in your face move to tell you guys step up and do your part. Number one. Okay, I love the fact that he went after the jugular on this one. He didn't hold anything back. He basically said, hey, you get transparency, you tell me you can do the job, and I'll give you the $6 billion, which is great, okay? I don't see Jeff doing that. I don't see any other billionaires out there doing this. I don't see anybody else making that bold of a statement, number one. Number two, at the end of this argument and discussion, so to speak, was they came back and basically said, well, it won't cure world hunger. And it's like, well, look,
right.
Here's the problem. And I think that was basically also Elon Musk calling out what is part of this. How do we continually throw money at something without having solutions that continually work? Because we've continually tried to work this problem and we haven't made the inroads yet as a society. Okay. That speaks volumes for also what he's calling out, which is emphatically the hypocrisy and the fact that they keep assigning a number to it, yet they don't get the job done. Okay. And I think that's another thing that he was pointing out, to say, if you make it open and arbitrary, that's where I'm at. Right. I don't think I could be any more clear than that. Great move from him, but hey, other guys, step literally the hell up. You guys, if you're going to sit here and, claim, oh, I don't have enough money to solve this, or you can't get all the money from us. Here's a guy that's saying, I'm not willing to not pay my fair share in taxes. I'm willing to actually just take the money out of profits and hand it to you. Take it. Also probably be a massive write-off for him. So what's the difference? Anyhow, it'd just be like giving it to a foundation or a fund. So brilliant on his behalf.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
I don't have those kind of problems.
No, we don't.
But
the article also did go on to say that, billionaires have profited greatly through COVID. Okay, they've made a lot of money, and being on the brink of starvation, and him basically making it more of a personal discussion, saying, "What if it was your kid? What if it was this? What if it was that?" Look, I arguably very, very true, but there's also some world leaders that share a great deal of the harm that they've inflicted on their own countries for not giving their citizens the ability to make enough money or to provide a healthy enough economy where farmers can make enough and pursue feeding their own people. Or am I being a complete and total jerk? I don't know. You can't just.
I think Elon just wants to.
What's that?
Elon wants to feed people.
Well, I think that's ultimately, I think he thinks that there's a return on investment for him too, because that would solve a lot of the problems, right? So, okay, so yeah, so here's David Marquette says, yeah, I think that was Elon's main point, that this is not so much a money issue as much as a logistics problem. Something needs to be done, but it's going to take a planet. Agreed. Perfectly well said.
Yeah.
I don't have a follow-up to that. If you want to take the next one.
David Cummings is adding in. And of course, somebody else said, are there only Davids here? Yes. Thank you to all the Davids for like, share, subscribe. Thank you for that. I'll just throw that in there because, hey, thanks, guys. But anyway, another David Cummings, probably because the billionaires helped start COVID. So, I mean, either way, they're making a bunch of money, and
not touching.
If something can actually be done here that is actionable and accountable, Elon's on board.
Yeah,
so
I'm not touching the billionaire starting COVID thing at all. No, I'm staying away from that one. That's like plutonium.
Not doing that.
But there's so much more. Look, it takes a planet to solve this problem, but it took a planet to start it too. Okay, and many people, many generations of decades and centuries have gone and forced other groups into starvation. It is unfortunately what it is. But I think we are approaching that point that if we're going to say that on a general basis, we need to take in and harbor so many other people to make sure that their quality of life exists. Hey, let's also start with the government groups out there that actually make sure that these people live an impoverished lifestyle too. That would be plutonium. Yeah, haha. No, very true. Plutonium. So, all right. That's all I got to say on this one. You got anything else to add?
I'm good. No. Again, thanks so much for all the support, guys. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know the deal. And hang on. We got some more stuff for you. But thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, follow. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I think it was a gutsy move, and I applaud Elon for doing it. Okay, So this last one is pretty much. We got a bread and butter discussion here for us because Corey and I both actually have time in a specific helicopter, which is the R-44 and the R-22. These are Robinson helicopters. They were created as basically entry-level helicopters, piston variants, meaning that they're powered by either a six-piston, normally aspirated, air-cooled engine, or a four-cylinder, normally aspirated, air-cooled engine. Okay? They're of a fairly basic design, and these things have been in and out of the training markets and in the personal, transportation markets for a long time. Basically, the very same places that the eVTOL market wants to crack its nut on, right? Problem is, these are also a set of and series of helicopters that require what's called by the FAA terms an SFAR. An SFAR basically saying that you actually have to be trained in how to fly this particular brand of helicopter because there is a dangerous type of flight regime, otherwise known as a hard pushover or a low G maneuver, that will actually get the main rotor mast and the blades to contact each other at a severity point that would actually jettison the main rotors from the aircraft. And I kid you not on this, it exists. Okay?
Yeah.
So, as a workaround, they have created what's called the R66 helicopter. And the R66 helicopter is their entry into the turbine. Small, light helicopter marketplace.
Turbine light single. Market.
Yeah, perfect. So that lays the groundwork for it. You can now fly it by an iPad. So they have teamed up with a company called Skyryse, out of all things. And Skyryse has really gone the extra mile. And this team has designed a simplistic system that literally incorporates two iPads into the actual aircraft. It goes beyond fly-by-wire. It is literally fly-by iPad. It's called FlightOS. And of all things, what they did to prove that this technology was both had the ability to do it and be successful, they put a movie star in front of the controls, which we're
Yeah.
trying to question why it's this particular movie star, but we're going to play this one straight out for you guys so you can hear it, see it in their own. This is released from Skyryse's own YouTube page, so we can take a look at it right here. This is Jon Hamm flying a helicopter using nothing but an iPad. So take a look, take a listen, check this out.
Yep.
Here you go.
But it is pretty amazing, right? A half hour in the simulator and you're like flying a helicopter.
Who did your plans?
This is our primary test vehicle. You'll experience the ability to fly the aircraft with just gestures.
Whoa. So if I hit select on vertical and put in 1,200 feet, it would climb to 1,200
It'll
feet.
go to 1,200 feet.
It's very intuitive.
So have you flown before?
I did a movie, you're in the back, you're in a Huey, you're basically on a flatbed.
I was looking over the front of the thing because I was feeling it, and I looked back, and the other 9 guys in the thing were like white, fully white knuckling it.
All right, my friend, we're ready to go. Let's pick it up and do a hover. Now it's all you, man.
You're looking at the screen less when you're in real life.
Let's climb up to 700. Look at that, using all of the toys.
All the tech. I had no idea what this was going to be.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how freakishly intuitive it is.
Looks beautiful, dude. Bring the speed back to like 10. All right, now set us down. Really good job, dude.
Kind of never gets old, does it?
Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, a couple other things that I just want to throw out there before we get into any other details about it. This comes direct from the company website, which basically says, no uncertain terms, it says that this thing is going to go beyond fly-by-wire. It is going to dramatically simplify the onboard flight experience. Lastly, it says that it's an active envelope protection system. The system integrates with fly-by-wire technology and is designed to deliver a commercial airline level safety to all aircraft. The aircraft is able to conduct analysis, and it actually goes through a split-second adjustment and needed to keep the aircraft within safe flight parameters as they complete their journey or mission. And then lastly, it says that it's always in control, that this system is always operational through every phase of flight, even during a situational hazard. Our system is designed to never go offline, including during emergencies. Corey, I hand the controls to you. You have the controls. What's your thoughts on that?
I have the controls.
And we've said that before in an actual aircraft many times. So go ahead. You have the controls.
I have the controls. Yes. So I think first off, I'll say if you're following aviation and automation in aviation, and I guess I'll go towards pure automation. It's not new, right? We have other companies doing. You can see like K-Max even has one that's an automated aircraft where it flies cargo from one place to another with no pilot, completely no pilot on board. The thing I think maybe first to point out, just on my own 2 cents here, is this on Skyryse itself literally says they are targeting, at least for now, what they're saying is the GA or general aviation market, because it says also that they partner with 5 OEMs or five companies making helicopters that are going to use this FlightOS product. Only one of which we know is Robinson. I couldn't find the other 4, but nevertheless, they go on to say that basically between those 5, that's half of the aircraft, the new GA aircraft. So I guess with that, maybe with that being said, they didn't say helicopter specific, but point being, they're going after GA, which is interesting. I also was asking Mike before the show started. I was like, why would they initially partner with Robinson? And I'm just curious. Like, why would you hit Robinson up first? And I guess again, it's maybe the GA thing, right? If you're talking about GA market, at least in helicopters, a lot of Robinsons are used for GA ops, but they also sometimes, you'll have a helicopter that's GA, but also maybe they'll use it for some commercial stuff as well. Because actually, also, if you go down a bit, they also mentioned that they also are looking at for, what did I say? Our technology will usher in a new era of mobility from fighting fires in remote areas to relieving traffic in crowded cities. So there's also some transportation there, maybe for personal
Right.
or whatever, but also actually some work being done with fighting fires, which is a very non-scripted. I mean, I don't mean to say that because it's certainly got maneuvers and certain ways you do stuff. But I guess I'm saying you don't fly from A to B with you got a fire. You have to go find the fire. You have to figure out where the wind is.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
things that's it's not cookie cutter,
Sure.
I guess. So I guess yeah. So that there's that too.
Can I add something at that?
And yeah.
So
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of the
sure,
things
what's
that I think that's critical to that is that all their other competitors right now for the Robinson marketplace, they do not require that the aircraft be flown with a certain amount of hour requirement. And that means that the R44 and the R22 both had a minimum hour requirement of 50 hours in the aircraft before you could do certain things. The R66 escaped that clause. Okay, and the fact that it was escaped means that this is probably one of Robinson's moves to include this in their aircraft to keep their R66, as their market share grows, out of the SFAR category, to keep it on par with operators like the Bell 505, the 206, which is the older Bell model, and a few other of the light, light helicopters out there, light turbines. So there is a strategic move there, but it also aligns itself perfectly with the air mobility markets moving forward because, like Corey said, for commercial operations, having one pilot on board with the simplicity of alleviating his workload for a long duration of his workload day would be a massive savings. And also, if you want to put a second operator in there and having to actually not train them as much and go through less training, this works. So then I hand it back to Corey.
Yeah. I think that's some of the important points to make is, just like as Mike was saying, there's a SFAR, special FAR you have to comply with to touch the controls or be PIC of certain Robinson aircraft. And, as you mentioned, the R66 escapes that, doesn't apply to that. So it is probably a business move as well possibly for Skyryse to try to get in there and help with that market segment. But also I think, just as you mentioned a second ago, if you got somebody you need to maybe be on the aircraft with a fully certified pilot, at least for now, with regs and whatever, fully certified pilot, and have somebody else that could offload some of the workload for straight and level, basic navigation while he does something else. Because, I mean, if you've operated an aircraft, you'll know obviously there's a lot of other stuff you do besides just to move around the controls. You gotta do some basic navigation. You gotta, of course, talk on the radio. This thing obviously doesn't do any of that for you. We know there's other things going on in the GA system and in other aviation where you can maybe not even have to use the radio as much. That's happening on bigger aircraft too. But we're not totally there yet for GA, of course. So, but nevertheless, it's an interesting thing to see. Definitely something to keep track of. I'm wondering where it will go. And actually, it implies. I mean, it doesn't imply, but it kind of seems like, the way it's worded, it seems that Robinson's basically going to integrate the avionics into the 66, meaning like it's kind of going to be in the aircraft, like it's part of the maybe it'll be a different package. I don't know exactly, but it's something interesting to see. I wonder. Well, my next chain of thought is I wonder what the FAA thinks about it as far as logging time.
Don't know.
And liabilities, things like that. And then,
I have a
of course,
hypothesis.
And then I'll pass it here in a second, but I just want to say at the bottom it also mentions that they do have two advisors from Skyryse, two advisors, one from the FAA, former head Mike Herta, and then of course the former NTSB safety chairman. They're both on Skyryse's advisory board too. So they've got the people on call to answer those questions for them.
They do.
So I'm sure we'll be able to get some of those as well soon. So, I mean, what do you think?
I think that's exactly the point. So these guys have the inroads to the fact that they understand that this infrastructure may not exist right now, but they're the two people that know the ins and outs of both the NTSB and the FAA to get this done. Now, the fact that they made this announcement now means that they are positioning themselves to be ready to capture the marketplace at a level of pre-approved aircraft, meaning these aircraft at these other manufacturers that they're going after, already have pre-approved airframes, and now they're simply going to get, probably a special type certificate to operate them under this particular system, because they are laying the groundwork for a testbed system that, if they become the widely accepted system that other people become familiar with, that they would make that transition easily into selling themselves to other air mobility aircraft operators
Mhm.
or VTOL aircraft manufacturers. That
Right.
way they could simplify a lot of the different things like training regimes, expected flight routines, integration between other systems, and tying in possibly ADS-B, which is their higher form of GPS navigation and coordination with other air traffic zones and maybe noise abatement zones and arrivals, putting that all together into one nice unique package. And they go to them and say, look, by the way, we've already taken 5 GA aircraft that have all had different flight regimes and incorporated into
Right.
this very same system, and we're proving that it's safe. The fact that these two
Yeah.
guys have broken out to go it with that particular group of people means that they see the promise in making very quick inroads, which means urban air mobility probably just got a little bit closer to being a reality in some aspects. Other players that I see that would come in and possibly buy a company like this, Honeywell, Garmin. These guys are perfect target acquisition in this particular area. Even something as simple as maybe ForeFlight, the fact that it's operating on an iPad, it makes them an acquisition target for that. So
Could be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
so very interesting. Ooh.
Yeah, it is. This is something to definitely keep track of. I mean, you're just talking about other OEMs, and I'm thinking, what other like burgeoning OEMs would be maybe have use for this? And I was thinking, maybe a Hill helicopter would be interested in something
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, that would be another one. Oh, man, that
Um,
would change their entire structure. Wow.
I mean, imagine, yeah, because Hill, you go, you build the helicopter. It's a little more involved for the purchaser, to keep some of the costs down. But then, yeah, if it's also reduces pilot requirements to operate such an aircraft. Well, we don't know that yet,
Right.
of course. I mean, obviously, in this video, there's still a certified pilot on board with Jon, but I don't know. It's something to see if any reg changes or amendments come out of this somehow.
Yeah, I would love to hear what the community feels about this one out there. So let us know in the comments below, because I believe that this is going to be the one that touches a lot of people's sensibilities, especially the helicopter pilot community that has to go through a ton of training. Let's just say this lastly to close out. There's a ton of training that goes into making a helicopter pilot. It's not a 1, 2, 3
There is. Yeah.
situation. And there's a lot of advanced maneuvers that also need to be taught in the essence of safety that need to be gone through in a very specific regime so that a pilot can come out on the other side and be successful as a helicopter pilot. This is a number one of importance. And the fact that they're going to reduce that instruction set down to an iPad app, okay, may be insulting to some, or it might be liberating to others. And I want to know what the temperature is out there of other people that find this discussion to be either agitating or to be inviting, is to say that this is what we basically need inside the industry, because the industry also as a whole, and unfortunately Robinson Helicopters, has had in the past some devastating events that have actually made an impact into the safety of the industry. And it's going to take a long time to change that safety culture along the boards. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow. Let us really want to hear some feedback on this one, because there's so much more under this particular discussion that really needs to be addressed. We couldn't do it it would take us days literally to go through to see all the different things, like how does it handle this safety situation? How does it handle that? So, but we'd like to hear from you guys and what your thoughts are below. So let us know.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same thing Mike said. I have some questions to see how it would handle like advanced emergencies, particular phases of flight, certain things happening where a timely reaction is required to actually survive. Low inertia systems. If you guys are pilots out there, I'll take 2 seconds to talk about this. But low inertia systems, complete engine failure where the engine is completely offline. You have to lower the pitch of the blades very quickly. And Robinson R22 is one of the worst culprits on the market. And we're literally talking at certain settings. Literally, you got to lower the collective at 1.5 seconds or something. It's super quick. So, yeah, a lot of outliers and things, but be interested to see how it works.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Okay, somebody just laid a bomb in the comments. Tesla hits 1,200 a share. I just looked. Tesla's up 7% on the day.
Just today, really?
They're up 7%. So they're outperforming. They're literally outperforming the market right now by.
Yeah, they're up 7.2 right now.
They're killing it. Tesla's making the right moves. I mean, if there was any doubt now that I think Cybertruck could or couldn't be a success, or that they're not going to be able to deliver on other things, you know, they crossed that $1 trillion threshold on their market cap, and they're already at $1.2 trillion. That is like, there ain't a lot of companies that get to do that within 4 days of just breaking the trillion mark and then adding to that value. So holy cow, that is really interesting. The Hyperfoil bike, keep them coming, David. We're gonna have to keep looking this stuff up, because the Hyperfoil is. I'll put it on the list of things that you keep suggesting, and let me take a look at it really quick. Your thoughts on Tesla, there, Corey?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know what to say, honestly. I mean, it just keeps going up and up and up. You don't have to look too far to see people talking about how it's definitely overvalued. Some people say, tons of that. And, the short sellers are still out there trying to make a buck. So, but with just more good news coming out of the last earnings call, just not too long ago, they're doing stuff right and people like it. I mean, the list for getting a Model Y, I think, is months long now. And, yeah.
Well, I know David's very hot for them getting into the eVTOL marketplace. And look, Elon said that he doesn't have any way of successfully doing that right now. So he doesn't want to negotiate or actually get into that arena until he's got something firm, right? It doesn't mean that he's not working on it. And that's what I think is the other thing that is really important. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have a latent plan that's already halfway in development and he's keeping it very, very quiet. I don't know. But there is that. Gonna have to see 6,000 per split.
Oh, 6,000 pre-split?
Yeah, pre-split.
You think it's gonna go that high before splits?
Okay, pre-split. Wow. Well, geez, 6,000, because that means if you could only afford right now to dump 10 grand into Tesla stock, or maybe 20, that would be about where it would be for you to make that profit. Yeah. I mean, for you to want to invest and take that ride, because I don't think that they're overvalued. So I really don't. I think that they've got all the. I've said it before. Huge that it's so overlooked, at the fact that they basically made the first electric car company as a whole that has over 500,000 in sales per year. This is not an easy feat, and for those people that think that that's an overvaluation on their ability, well, they're not selling iPhones. They're selling cars. And they're doing it at a great number, and they've got a product that people believe in. That's literally gold right now in the marketplace, with everybody else still playing to a degree catch up. Even major auto manufacturers playing catch up in that arena. So I don't think they're overvalued.
I'm just watching this Manta video.
Well, this is so wait, now David, we need to know, are you talking about the Manta 5? Because this looks badass. But I don't know if it's worth $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. Yikes! That's the hydrofoiler.
So they're pedaling, but it's.
I mean, to me, that's a hard sell. That's a real hard sell. But we'll check it out. We'll see if it's out there. He could buy. Okay, so here's the thing. He could buy an eVTOL company right now with the SPAC valuation of, say, a Joby or an Archer. He could. But my guess is that he's innovative enough that, okay, cool, the Manta 5. My guess, and this is simply my guess, is that he has a firm understanding of where he wants to be in that marketplace. And I think that there's another company that would be a perfect target for him. And I'm keeping my mouth shut on that one. So there's that. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. It's been a great day. Thanks to the multiple of Davids for jumping in on chat. Thank you guys so much. You make the show. What's that?
All the
Davids, you make the show a joy, and keep that information coming. Like I said, in another week, we're going to be switching to a night schedule, so we're going to have to figure out the night schedule, how that's going to work out. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'm done. You done?
Yeah, done. Thank you so much, guys. It's been great.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Take care. Have a great day. Peace. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, not saying it. David might have said something in chat, though.
I see.
I see it too. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you real soon. Have a great day. Bye. Peace. Later.